Hey, it's me, Ciscoe Morris, and here's what's going on Gardening with Ciscoe. Want to grow eggplant? Here's a trick that'll help it thrive. You can have a lawn that looks like a golf course and still go organic. Meeghan's making picnic fare with a Vietnamese flair. And we found a mini version of a very cool tree for our plant pick. Plus, a place that has butterflies year-round. All this coming up right now on Gardening with Ciscoe. I'm Ciscoe Morris.
And I'm Meeghan Black. Welcome to Gardening with Ciscoe. Isn't this a little slice of heaven? We are today at the Pacific Science Center's Tropical Butterfly House. Now, I got to tell you, we love coming here any time of the year, but when it's cold, wet, and it should be nice outside, this is a tropical paradise.
Yeah, Washington in spring, freezing cold out. It makes it so hard to grow those heat-loving veggies. But I've got a trick you can use to warm up the soil, and you'll be able to grow them great.
So today, for the first time ever on Gardening with Ciscoe, eggplant. How about that? I never thought to grow eggplant.
This is the chameleon vegetable because it takes the flavor of whatever you cook.
Oh, you're right. But what about what you grow on? Is it going to taste like plastic? I'm so curious about what this plastic is doing here.
If you use a black mulch, then it reflects the perfect heat.
So what's the difference between black plastic and black mulch?
I don't really know.
Does black mulch just make it sound more garden-y?
Yeah, because this is definitely black plastic.
Okay.
But one thing, Meeghan, I put this down before because it's been down here for a few days because it absorbs the heat.
I imagine it gets kind of hot under there.
Yeah.
Even in our limited sunshine.
And that's one of the things that these plants really need. Now, we're going to put this back because you want to grow this on this black plastic.
Okay.
But we're going to figure out about where we're going to plant them. We got to remember we put the plastic back.
Right.
So I think like right there and right here.
Okay, and so what are we going to do? Put a little fertilizer?
Yeah, dig a big hole.
Okay.
And then we'll stick the fert in there. And one of the things, it's pretty easy to dig in.
Yeah, it is.
That's some good soil. You know, I just harvested a bunch of spinach out of here that you and I planted.
Oh, very good. Okay.
So good organic vegetable food here.
Okay, good.
Okay, so you want a half cup under each plant. But,
I'm just going to do the area.
Yeah, that's exactly the way to do it. A little more for insurance.
That way we don't have to be too particular when we put the...
And people really got to remember, you really do want to add fertilizer, to plant. Especially, I had spinach growing in there, used a lot of nutrition up,
Okay, this is curious.
Right.
So it likes to grow on this.
Yeah, it likes to grow on black plastic because it'll keep the soil a lot warmer. And notice, wherever you plant your eggplant, you want it to be the hottest spot you got in your garden.
Okay.
So I got this reflected wall that's really neat. So we're just gonna
cut a little hole.
Cut a hole.
This is interesting.
Yep.
Is there any other vegetable that would benefit from this?
I think, a lot of times like squash.
Really?
Yeah, and if you wanted to grow melons, then you really got to do it.
Here, I'll give you this if you want that. So you artificially raise the soil temperature.
Yep. Yeah, we get that absorbed heat. This ripens up in 70 days. This is not going to be a humongous eggplant. It's going to be, these are usually what they call Asian eggplant. Yeah, these rocks are really important. Now, I could probably plant, something else down here when the time comes.
So let me ask you a question about this. What about watering? Because you have to make sure the water gets in there.
So glad you asked me. I almost forgot. Ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk.
And that way the water will seep through.
Yep.
Nice. Okay, so a little eggplant in the black mulch or a good old-fashioned black garbage bag. It does the trick.
It's cheaper.
So that was green apple eggplant, and you say that peppers could also benefit from that kind of a treatment.
You're not kidding. Welcome back to Gardening with Ciscoe from the Pacific Science Center Butterfly House. Look at this, Meeghan. I think it's a blue morpho. Once it opens its wings, it's just startlingly blue.
I think he wants to be a part of our show.
Hey, I think so. He's pretty cute.
The only thing is,
pet him?
I don't know why we're whispering though.
I don't want to scare him away.
I think he's pretty content. Anyway, well, have you mowed your lawn yet this season? Of course you have. Yes, they're growing like crazy. Or perhaps it's just the weeds in your lawn, depending upon your method. Well, we have a great way of keeping your lawn growing green without the weeds. All you have to do is go organic. A lush, deep green lawn can be an organic lawn. This one belongs to Lynne and Wanda Horst. They're the owners of Earth CPR, an organic gardening supply business in Sequim on the Olympic Peninsula. They sell Hendrikus organic products, and that's exactly what they use on their lawn.
This used to be cow pasture with ditches in it, and we came through and bulldozed it and rototilled it, and then we laid seed and used seasons.
Yeah, nice. Nice, and see how tall it is, guys? Look, I'm setting my fingers in it.
There are other tricks Lynne has to keep this grass looking great. He brews his own compost tea to use on the grass.
Inside here we use humic acid and Hendrikus part of his product.
Moose the goat helps thin the lawn.
Yeah. The other thing is mowing's critical to have it as high as you can get it, so the grasses can come up and sort of crowd out those weeds.
Well, plus it keeps the moisture in the soil, it keeps the biology going, your grass clippings turn into nitrogen.
Organic lawns generally require less maintenance. This is a non-organic lawn right next door, where the weeds definitely have won.
There is no biology there to break it down. Right. So if you go in an organic process, you have that thatch being broken down by the biology in the soil.
Organic lawns don't just look good on the surface, they're healthy right down to the core.
You can see it. You know, as I've taken it apart, you see that how it's still hanging? That's the root system. So that means those roots, this soil is beautiful, and as the roots are penetrating way down, and it's holding its moisture, and getting its food sources for a really healthy grass, from cattle feeding or anything else. So, that smells good.
Good.
Yeah,
smells good.
Don't forget the nose, guys.
Yep.
That's why God gave you one. You can smell when it's good.
So if you are one of those people who feels the grass is always greener on the other side, maybe going organic is the answer to making your grass the greenest.
Boy, little Marie Morpho's trying to steal our job. What a ham.
I don't think we're going to be able to afford him.
We probably
Cost too
can't.
much. By the way, the Hendrikus lawn fertilizer is called Seasons.
Hey, talking about grass growing so fast, have you seen those tree peonies?
Yeah.
Holy cats, flowers this big. People don't know you could prune them. Well, there's a trick to it. You can keep them shorter and make them bloom even more.
So your peony was like mine, the tree peony. You got 3 flowers. I only got 2. They're so beautiful. 1, 2, and look at this beautiful guy
so
here.
Big.
Oh my
Look at that.
goodness.
Is that beautiful?
That
or
is.
What? Man, oh
so
man.
I want more than 2 or 3 though.
Yeah.
I'm greedy.
I don't blame you.
So you say I can have more than that?
Yeah, if we get it to branch out more.
Okay.
The other thing is, you know, they get so tall, how do you stake them up?
Right.
You know, I tried to stake this, but as you can see, I wasn't totally
it flops
successful.
a little bit.
Yeah.
So we want them to branch out more, which means we want to cut them back so that they'll branch out. Okay.
So we could take this back to old wood if we could find a big bud like that guy.
Right.
Meeghan. But maybe we don't want to go that far.
Yeah.
So we can cut it anywhere where there's a branch.
And so this one about the same place?
Yeah, let's do about the same thing. Oop. Yeah, perfect.
Up. Don't say up. Don't say up when I do that.
I didn't see that branch.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you want to leave this guy there for now?
Yeah, let's leave that guy. So,
oh, that's broken.
Oh, yeah, and but we're lucky, Meeghan, because look, here's a bud.
Okay.
So we can cut to right there. So, all right. And you always cut on a downward angle away from the bud.
Okay.
Now, Meeghan, this one doesn't look too alive, but that could be a live bud. I can't tell.
Okay.
Better safe than sorry. I think that's alive.
Really? Okay.
I think so. So now we should get really good branching out. I don't know, Meeghan, what do you think? Hey, look, see, it's sort of...
Oh,
we
yeah,
could
yeah.
even go lower if you want on that
Okay,
one,
so
Meeghan.
get this little guy here.
Yeah.
Because there's a big old fat bud right
Big,
here.
fat, juicy,
So-
good bud.
And away.
Yeah,
and
and there's some dead stuff. Maybe we could take that off.
Okay, so we're cleaning him up as well.
Yeah, and then when this guy's done, we may decide to cut that back to keep it all in balance. But
now the staking isn't as big of an
Yeah.
issue, and then these will branch out, hopefully, getting more buds.
Hopefully. Usually you get
spring.
at least 2 for the price
Because
of
they
one.
are so magnificent.
They
And
are.
a good rainstorm and they go away anyway.
That's
You
true.
need more.
Yeah, they're
More.
Ephemeral, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But boy, they sure are pretty.
So your tree peony, get out there and clean it up right now. Who knows? It may serve you well next year.
Easy job. Doesn't take hardly any work and beautiful. Welcome back to Gardening with Ciscoe from the Pacific Science Center in Seattle. We're in the tropical butterfly house, surrounded by gazillions of kids and butterflies.
They flock together.
Well, they do. You know, they import about 500 butterflies from Asia and South America every week. If we're really lucky, we might see one hatch out of a cocoon. Oh, la la!
It is such a great learning experience, and it's toasty, about 85 degrees in here. We're liking that, yeah. Hey, speaking of hot and cooking, we're moving on to our cooking segment. That was my transition. You like that? We're whipping up a little banh mi.
A banh what?
Watch and learn, baby. When Lynne told us what we were cooking today, all I wanted to say was banh mi, baby. It sounds like an action as opposed to a great sandwich.
A verb.
Isn't that
It's-
hilarious? Yeah, banh mi.
Yeah.
So we are in. We're hip.
We are. Yeah, this is
it.
super hip. Dude.
Okay, tell us what we're
All
going to
right,
do.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a sandwich. It's a Vietnamese sandwich that sort of evolved from the French influence in that country, you know, half a century ago, and it's now the sandwich that I love. It's what I do with my sandwiches. Okay.
Awesome.
So here's what we're going to do first.
Okay.
We're going to make some what we call quick pickles.
Okay.
And we got some pickled radish, carrots, and daikon. All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you. I just wanted to demonstrate to you real quick the cut on the daikon.
Okay.
And you know daikon is a type of radish as well. A nice mild radish with
you're
nice
just peeling
crispy
it now.
flavor. Right now I'm just
Okay.
peeling it. Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Nice.
So then we want to create what we call just little strips or allumette. You know,
Okay.
allumette means matchstick in French. So in order to do that, you're going to take this and you're just going to cut it at a kind of a long angle like this into, you know, relatively thin slices, okay?
Yeah.
Until you get as many slices as you need. And then we'll get rid of that, stack those on top of each other and just twist them this way.
So the key here is the diagonal thing. I've tried to do it before and I've never gotten them right.
And you can't get them quite long enough.
No,
yeah?
and you can't. Like
There
you're
you go.
spazzy. This works.
Okay. She said spazzy.
Yeah. Well, I resemble that.
There you go. And so there you are.
That is
Pretty
so
little
easy.
matchsticks.
I love it.
Exactly. So these just go into a quick little marinade, little vinegar, sugar, and salt for about an hour.
Wow, that's it.
So I'm just going to tuck those in here. I've already got these pickling. Yeah. And so they get that, they stay crunchy, but with a little bit of malleability, you know, and a nice little sweet tart, you know.
Perfect.
Really yummy stuff. So let's build our sandwich,
Let's
shall
do
we?
it.
So this starts with baguette bread.
Okay.
And what you do is traditionally you cut it open, butterfly, but leave it connected. Yeah.
Love it.
And you want to choose a not too crusty baguette. You want it to have a little bit softer.
yeah, okay.
Yep. And then you're going to just kind of dig a couple of fingerfuls of bread out of there.
Take the guts.
Yep, exactly.
That way you
So you're
have more
making a little-
room for the goodies.
For the good stuff.
And you
we're
still get
gonna-
your mouth around it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. And then traditionally, this gets spread with the homemade mayonnaise, which I made for you today.
Ooh.
Yep. But you can use just a good quality mayonnaise. I added some macadamia nut oil and some extra virgin olive oil to
Because
it.
you just happen to have macadamia
Well, I
nut
do.
oil
Of
on
course I
hand.
do.
Of course you
I
do.
love macadamia
Yes.
nut oil.
Yes, I do too.
It's
you know.
PCC. Hello. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So you can make that as, you know, thick or thin
Thin or-
as you
yeah.
like.
Okay.
And then in our case today, we're going to use some fresh wild salmon because it is salmon season.
I love
So
it.
I cut the salmon thinly, and we're
Okay.
just going to put a couple of fillets in there.
Great.
And then I am going to brush those with a little bit of sweet chili sauce.
Yum, a little
And and here's
savory.
where the banh mi becomes your own personal creation. You can pile it up with any of the flavors that you love, but sort of traditionally what we're going to do next is where we need to go.
Okay.
So thinly sliced strips of cucumber, 3 or 4 in there. And then let's put scatter on a couple of jalapeno chilies.
Now, are these going to be super hot?
They are going to be a little spicy.
Woohoo! A little kick.
Yes.
I like it.
And then our pickled vegetables.
Okay.
Yep. And I wanted to point out that the daikon and the carrot are traditional. The little sliced radishes aren't necessarily so traditional, but I love the color that they give, this sort of gem tone, and they've still got that nice spicy bite to them. And then probably my favorite part, just some nice pile of fresh cilantro leaves. Isn't that just fabulous?
Oh my gosh, that is gorgeous.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just sort of squeeze this together like that. And
chow down.
And you super chow down, baby.
That's it.
Or this is like the most fabulous picnic sandwich on the planet.
Yeah, that would
and
be.
So I wanted to show you how I wrap these in.
Okay,
so I'll
cool.
Get some
Let's
paper.
do it.
Okay.
No.
Thank you, my dear.
Absolutely.
So I think this one might have to be mine. What do you think?
I think that sounds like a plan. Nice.
I think we need a basket for our picnic.
You get the basket, I'll get the wine.
Nice.
Let's go.
Okay.
Get ready.
We're out of here.
Nice job. You'll find that recipe at king5.com. Click on Gardening with Ciscoe. You know, banh mi sounds so much more sophisticated than salmon sandwich, but I gotta tell you, it tastes good either way.
Oh, la. I wish I could have tried it. I can't wait.
Too bad, so sad.
This place is so cool, Meeghan. I want to move in.
Really?
You think they'd let me put a tent in here somewhere? It's like a jungle.
Yeah, maybe over there, sure. Welcome back to Gardening with Ciscoe from the Tropical Butterfly House here at the Pacific Science Center. This has been around since 1998. Isn't that awesome?
That is awesome.
Such a great refuge from nasty weather outside or just a fun place to bring the kids. You get to learn so much about the butterfly.
Yeah, but Meeghan,
What?
our plant pick has been around a lot longer than that.
You're always trying to one-up me, aren't you?
Hey, according to fossil records, it's been around for 250 million years, unchanged until now.
Bush.
I was so excited when I found this at the nursery.
I thought this had some kind of medicinal properties or something, the ginkgo, doesn't it?
Well, I think it's for memory, but I forget.
Then I think it's appropriate that you got this guy. Absolutely. Now, if I remember correctly, these babies are like 60, 70 feet tall.
Yes, they are, but not this guy.
One would hope, because there's not that much room here.
This was found as a little witch's broom on a great big one. And they found it in 1990s, and they know that they grow less than 4 feet tall in years and years and years.
Interesting. Well, he's a cutie.
They turn bright yellow in the fall.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Oh, so they're deciduous.
Yep, because behind it,
Right.
we're going to put a torch lily with yellow flowers. Won't that look
That
cool?
would look really pretty.
See, I just opened up this whole area. I'm really excited.
So with the ginkgo, I'm assuming where we're planting him, we do have a little bit of sun right now, that he likes full sun?
Yeah, he likes sun.
Oh, good.
And they're very drought tolerant once established. They barely need
So
any.
what was this part about it being a fossil?
Yeah, they've found fossils 240 million years old before the dinosaurs were here.
Of ginkgo plants?
Ginkgos were here, and guess what? They were exactly the same as they are now.
No way.
Isn't that cool?
That is really cool. Where do you want him?
Is that going to be a beautiful plant?
I think I like him this way.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Okay.
Oh, I can't wait. This is going to be the most beautiful bed in my whole garden. Boy, oh, boy. Yeah.
Oh, he's a cutie.
And then Meeghan, we'll be
a little
putting that
piano.
back in this corner because
Okay. So you really did open this up. Look at all these new plants. This is not like you.
Yeah, this is really exciting.
Oh my
Look
gosh,
at
and
that.
you have a little garden going
Oh
already.
my gosh, this is so beautiful. I can hardly stand it already.
How fun. So the little ginkgo guy, you probably
That
want to call
ginkgo.
a nursery and ask if they have the little dwarfs. You don't
Yeah.
want a regular, you want the
That's
dwarfs.
right, Mariken. And don't ask for Charlie because they're not going to know what you're talking about.
Half the time I don't either, so that's okay.
Once again, that miniature ginkgo is called Mariken. And if you want to check out the butterfly house here at the Pacific Science Center, it is open 7 days a week. The admission is free with your admission to the Science Center. How about that?
And you know, as cool as all these butterflies are, the plants
I
in here.
knew you were going there.
Look at that Amorphophallus over there. You don't see those hardly anywhere.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Have such a great weekend.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Come have a tropical experience at the Tropical Butterfly Center. Oh, la la.
We need a tropical drink. Let's go get one.
Good idea.